You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, there's just a couple of places I automatically think of, and maybe it's because of my age, I automatically think of when it comes to Super Bowl host cities. Number one, or number two, would be New Orleans, right? Superdome, whatever it is they're calling it now. The Caesars Superdome. It was Mercedes-Benz Superdome, and then before that, it was the Louisiana Superdome. And the other one would be down in Miami, right? That would be one of the other cities that I automatically think of. And it's unimaginable, the idea, just based on the weather and sort of the atmosphere, and I think we once got Gloria Estefan in the Miami Sound Machine as a halftime show. Bull, we long for those kind of halftime shows, don't we? Man, back in the good old days, yeah. When actual real artists that you could understand were on the halftime shows. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's no longer an option. I read this, it was like, I saw the headline, was like, wait, what? They have removed Miami from consideration for the Super Bowl. I was like, wow, okay. Look, I'm a Niners fan. You can pull that motherfucker out of Levi. I mean, honestly, I think it's it comes across as one of the worst atmospheres on television, I think, that there is. And not only that, but evidently from listening to a lot of people that went out there, it's a logistical nightmare trying to get around and get to the Super Bowl. So anyway, let's go. Yes, I miss Candlestick Park there. We got that out of the way. The good old days. Miami has hosted 11 Super Bowls, in case you're wondering. Miami, of course, and the last one Miami had was 2020. That was Chiefs-Niners. And then the New Orleans Superdome has also had 11. So we're talking, 22 out of what's going to be, is this going to be the 60th or 61? I think 61 is the next one. But Miami's not a choice, folks. It will be a while until South Florida. Who is this? Florio PFT. It will be a while before South Florida makes it to a dozen. Owner Stephen Ross said this week that Hard Rock Stadium no longer meets the NFL's requirements for hosting a Super Bowl. One of the reasons I was doing this video is there's a lot of fire around the Browns getting a Super Bowl because of the new stadium. But Roger Goodell made some headlines because he said they would have to add a ridiculous number of hotel rooms to the city in order to get awarded a Super Bowl. You know? And of course, a lot of things will end up going, I mean, eventually a WrestleMania will go there, blah, blah, blah. Probably a Final Four or an Elite Eight or something like that. Which is the reason they're putting all these domes in the north, is so they can get business year round. That's crazy. It's not a stadium itself, but the area around it, which is changed to accommodate the annual Miami Open F1 events. Quote, the one thing that suffered is Miami hasn't gotten a Super Bowl here, and we normally have one every 5 years, Ross said in comments initially reported by Brian Brandale of South Florida Business Journal. Miami is not really in line for one. It's always exciting to have a Super Bowl, but that was before we had all these other events. Oh, Miami has by far the best weather. It's in the best interest to have one here, but at this point, they don't believe we meet all the requirements and demands. Ross hasn't completely given up on the possibility of bringing the Super Bowl back to Miami. We are looking at how to make those improvements. I want to make the stadium always feel like a new stadium, We are looking at the next phase and will be and making the fan experience much better. Goes on to talk about the fact that I just said it was Chiefs-Niners. That came after a 10-year break. That's right. The rain-ridden Super Bowl between the Colts and the Bears that I thought was actually pretty entertaining. Ross tried to finagle public financing for upgrades before realizing that wouldn't be happening and paying for them themselves. The deeper message is, as more and more and newer, better stadiums are built in cities suited to host the game, the more pressure will be applied to all cities to fork over funding needed to ensure the best facilities will get the biggest game. One of the arguments I heard this week in Cleveland was the fact that if they actually acted on building all these new hotel rooms, that the citizens that live there will just be absolutely run over by construction. Continuous construction, delays, yada, yada, yada. Now, the question you got to ask yourself is, well, do you want your city to grow or do you not? Right? Now, the other argument would be, well, if you put all these extra hotel rooms, are you going to get, what's going to happen to them the rest of the year? Right? Now, the other thing that NFL teams can get, and you would think Miami would be a great place to have it, would be the draft, right? That would be another thing, but it just does not feel right to me. The idea that Miami is not going to host the Super Bowl for a while. You notice, by the way, that Super Bowl has not been back to New York. You know, seriously. And I think part of that was the logistical issues it caused for the city. This is interesting. It's kind of, for an old dude like me, God, I'm not that old. What am I talking about? For a guy that's older, well, I'm not even older. Come on. 50 is the new 30, right? Anyway, regardless, I watched so many Super Bowls in Miami coming up that it just feels weird. The idea of Hard Rock, or whatever it used to be called, I think Sun Life at one point, that the Super Bowl just wouldn't be down there, you know? That's strange to me. It really is. And seeing those colors, turquoise and all that, I don't know. There's just certain places I think of when I think of Super Bowls. New Orleans, Miami. You know? I don't know. You tell me what you think. Should Miami still have the Super Bowl? I know one thing. Miami makes a load of money from F1. And it's my understanding they might make more on F1 than they do the Super Bowl. I don't know if that's accurate, but F1 is a massive, huge thing down there. And if that's the case, maybe they ain't going to worry about the Super Bowl. Stephen Ross will ultimately want another one. By the way, he's getting older than hell. I'm just pointing that out. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.